Hello, my beautiful beings. I'm back again. All right, I'm in a different location. I had everything set up to record in my room again, put the kids to sleep. Got the nice air conditioning, nice and comfortable. Got my notes together, and my person I'm living with comes home and just completely throws off the vibe. And I definitely I don't want to make this video too long because I'm hot, and yeah, that it's a long. Oh boy, it's a long story, I guess, of how I got to where I am now, and I don't want to just come out and just say it because I like to explain everything in detail so you know exactly, there's all the details in it, and you know exactly what's going on so you can help relate to it yourself. But yeah, but pretty much didn't feel comfortable enough to do it at home anymore, and I'm like, yo, this has to I want to do this, like, and I put it on my mouth. I put my mouth on it and told a couple people that I was getting ready to do it. Like, I'm just waiting for my kids to fall asleep. I fell asleep with them for a little bit and got woken up by somebody coming home, and I'm just like, so I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and I'm just get in the car and go ahead and do what I gotta do. It's already going on 7 o'clock. The sun's going down, which I live in Vegas, so that's a good thing because I'd be sweating my butt off right now, but it's still hot, but at least the sun's going down. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this started. So yesterday we had talked about like what a covert is, but I wasn't able to, I was able to, but the video was getting pretty long, so I didn't go into complete detail on everything. For the most part, I really did, but there were a couple things that I left out, or I'm like, oh, I should have said this, I should have said that, or whatever. So I'm gonna go through what that is now. And okay, so yeah, the first thing is that a covert narcissist with all of these disorders and issues and stuff going on. The reason why it can be so confusing is because they can be like great parents to their kids when the kids are young, because the kids are helping feed their what's the word, I can't even think of it, making them feel not entitlement, but I'm sorry, y'all, that kind of threw me off a little bit. Their validation. So, a little kid is constantly coming up to their parents and they're all about their parents and they love them, and it's just all about the parent, right? So, and they're loving that. They're just taking it all in, and it's amazing to them. But once a child starts getting older and starts forming their own opinions, things start changing real quick. And that's, they start having their own opinions. They start thinking a different way. They start going down a different path than what that parent wanted, and because their love is conditional, so they start pulling all the love and all the any type of affection that they may have shown when you were younger. It's all done now once you start growing up and you start being your own person. Let's see. Their passive aggressiveness. So they say things. Oh, yeah. So their passive aggressiveness. They say things like, must be nice to have such a big house, and must be nice to get overpaid for your job. What else? Must be nice to have a family that always bails you out. And it's like, why are you coming at me like that? Like, it's like, for real? Like, and you feel it, you can't really put your finger on it, but you just feel a certain type of way, and that's what it does to you. They're quite manipulative. They're also, I didn't talk about this, how they're hypersensitive. Like, if you try to call them out on anything, And that aggressiveness that's like right underneath the surface with them is gonna come right out. Like, don't try to call them out on anything. Don't it's like walking on eggshells with these people, because if you try to say anything, do anything that they don't agree with on the slightest level, they gonna blow up, and things ain't gonna be pretty for you. um Man, yeah, I'm gonna just come out, and I don't feel, it's crazy because I don't even feel super comfortable talking about this, because just seeing this person, um and I'm not even by the house. Like, I came and I drove to the park, but there's people at the park, so with their kids, and I'm like, I don't want too much noise. And uh yeah, but yeah, I'm gonna just come out and say, let me see, turn these lights on, see if that helps a little bit. So pretty much, um I've been with the same person for 10 years, and going from the beginning, being raised by covert narcissists and not feeling worthy, feeling unlovable, feeling a lot of self-doubt, and not trusting yourself on anything for any level, you start to, that's just you start feeling invisible, and like you don't matter, and that's just who you are as a person now. Like, it's no, like, that's just it is what it is. That's just who you are. So you start, for me, I started like forming relationships with people, because it's like it can cause you to become a people pleaser. So the friends I had in my life, like, we were, friends, but it was more because I put all of my feelings and my own opinions to the side to agree with whatever it is this person's feeling, to make sure that they stay happy. You do you do whatever they do that you think is going to make them happy, because you know that if you've been taught that love is conditional, whether it's, from a parent, from a friend, a lover, whatever, like, love is conditional. So, you have to do whatever you got to do to keep pleasing this person. So, when I first met my husband, my friend, you know, I say friend because it really, yes, it was a good friend of mine, but it also, like I said, the relationship happened based off of me feeling like I was unworthy and doing everything that this person wanted, because I was a people pleaser. And so she talked with her friend and was like, this friend is, he's single. You guys should hook up. Here's each other's numbers. So we talked for a couple of weeks on the phone before we actually met in person. And when I met him in person 10 years ago, right, my first initial reaction, my intuition was just like, nah, I'm good. Like, that's not really, like, not my type, and like, nah. But because this friend of mine, if she thought he was good enough for me, well, then he must be. And the fact that we talked on the phone for a couple of weeks before we actually met in person, it was like, well, that would be shallow of me to base him off of his looks when I enjoyed his company, like talking on the phone beforehand. And, know it now that I know better. It's like, okay, like, you can be friends with everybody and like people, but that doesn't mean you gotta fuck them. It doesn't mean you gotta be in a relationship with them. It doesn't mean that you gotta marry them. You don't have to go down that path. So yeah, that was 10 years ago. And for the entire relationship, I just went along with it and put all my feelings to the side on anything on how I felt, because I was a people pleaser. And then just, I want to make sure I don't skip anything. It's a lot. But and so he had a really good relationship with his daughter, and the little kid in me that, like, got jealous of that because I didn't have that at all. With my parents, I wasn't able as a child to feel like I can be myself and I can show love to my parents and say like I love you and show affection and stuff like that. So that, like, seeing that was just like did something to me, and I didn't like it. And so I started having some covert narcissist ways in my damn self, and coming from jealousy. And that just, and it went on, and things just kind of just like escalated and but like almost like snowballed out of control, because it's like you have these ways in you coming from jealousy, and then you're also not completely happy because this isn't really a person you want to be with, but you don't know who you are. You don't know what path to go down. So this is just where your life has led to. And so things had escalated and got worse. And okay, so just say what it is. So his family, okay, so back when I was little, I always felt, my mother was a covert narcissist, and she was also an atheist, but I always felt like there was something more. I just always felt like that. And so when I got older and I met him, his family is all about God and Christianity. So I'm like, oh, that's what it was. It's God is Christianity. Like, oh, okay, well, I need to go along with this then. Like, oh, okay, I found the answer. But then with these ways that were inside of me that were coming, because hurt people, and knowing that, and these so-called Christians that are supposed to be full of love, compassion, empathy, all of those things, instead of asking, getting to the root cause of like what's going on in the household, and it's like, what's going on between you and his daughter. And it was more coming out of aggression and people being mad. And instead of these Christians being like, okay, well, let's get to the root cause of it. What's really going on? What's really going on? What is it? It was none of that. It was more, it just came out as aggression and, well, you grown and you shouldn't be doing that and da-da-da-da-da-da. And so it just made me feel worse and made me feel even more confused. And so, and then as time went by, more recently, because it's been 10 years, so more recently, I'm starting to think like, I'm understanding like, okay, with the whole Christianity thing, these people aren't really going along with what this religion speaks about. Like, that I don't feel loved by these people. I don't feel the compassion. I feel extremely judged. And then also thinking like, as a parent, why did you sit back and allow that to happen? Why are you with me? Like, I'm the one who did it, and I'm asking you, why the hell are you with me? Like, when with all of this going on. So I've slowly stopped communication with his people, because I realized like that's just toxic energy, and I don't want that in my life. When you know better, you do better. So now it's like, nah, I'm not cool with any of this. Oh, it's starting to get dark. And I'm hot. Hold on. Yeah, so I'm just like, I'm not cool with none of this. So I'm just sitting back and just evaluating everything and really thinking like, wow, like going through that and being raised like that has led me literally to this point where I am right now. And I can go more into all the things, I pretty much want to go through like my whole life story on how all the decisions that I made, the people I've had in my life, and it all boiled down to being affected by a narcissist. But, right now, I have made the decision like, okay, like I want to go our separate ways. This isn't healthy for neither one of us. I don't understand why you let this go on when this has ruined your relationship. Really, I guess they still have a cool relationship, but she don't live with us no more because of that. And it's just, I don't want no more. I know that there's more out there for me. I went through that for a reason, and I changed. Like, it's really hard to change your ways from being like that, and being able to do it. It's like, okay, so you're going to change your ways and then stay with that same person. And you can, you can be in a karmic relationship, and the karma can be lifted. But for me anyways, I'm like, with having a spiritual awakening, when you have a spiritual awakening, it's like a sale at a store. It's like, oh, everything must go. So I'm good on that. I'm good. And I realized, like, I deserve to be happy. I deserve to be in a relationship and be with somebody that I've picked, that I relate to. This, I'm originally from England, so my natural voice or accent, I speak with a British accent, but I've been here since I was 10. I have an American accent now, but if I say certain things, or if I'm around certain people, or if I go back to England, my English accent starts to come out. And one time I remember I was out doing something in the house with the kids, and I started talking with my British accent, and he was like, oh, don't do that. Don't do that. Like, don't talk like that. You sound like your mom. And your mom's got all these fucked up ways, and she's fucked up because of that. It's fucked up this relationship. So don't be yourself. Like, no, like, that ain't cool. Like, I should be able to be comfortable to be who I want to be. And I haven't been that way in so long. Like, I'm naturally, like, I'm just a real chill, goofy person. I love to crack jokes. And it's like, I have not been that way. Oh my gosh. It's like in 10 whole years. So me talking about, all this covert narcissist stuff, and then with him coming in the house, it just threw off the vibe completely, especially when, with all of that. And then I've already told him, I'm ready to go our separate ways, and it's already uncomfortable. And I'm like, fuck, man, like, this is like, this is what I'm supposed to be doing. Like, I need to make this video, and there's no way I'm going to be able to do it now. So I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna get in the car and just take my big ass laptop, and I don't have all the fancy equipment, all the lighting and the cameras and stuff like that. So I'm gonna just do what I gotta do. Yeah, it sucks, but that's a part of going through what I'm going through. And realizing, like, yo, like, I deserve more. And it's like, I used to feel like being raised by a narcissist to say that, like, oh, I deserve more, and I am worthy, and like, that's like almost a form of, like, you would almost feel like you're being arrogant, like it's coming from your ego. And it's like, no, it's not. It's perfectly fine to say that you deserve more. It's perfectly fine to love yourself. It's perfectly fine for all of that. But this yeah, being in that situation can definitely make you feel like some type of way. Even right now, like I said, I'm not even by the house, but it's like the energy is like almost still around me, and it's not. I've released a lot of blockages, a lot of them. Sometimes some more come up, and I release those too. And this is just the beginning. This is gonna be something that I'm gonna be doing all the time, making these videos, because like I said, I've been through this my entire life. 32 now. Like, yeah, I'm grown, but I've made a lot of life decisions based off of having this mindset that I'm not worthy, I'm not lovable, I ain't shit, like, I'm invisible. Like, you feel like damn near like you can just roll up into a ball, and just like it's okay for people to just kick you around and take you through the mud because you ain't nothing anyways. And that's not true. It's not true at all. It's not true. Yeah. I had a whole plan of things to talk about, and that was just like, wow. And then me saying, like, damn, like, and he's like, he could tell that something was wrong. It's like, what's wrong with you? And it's like, man, like, I was supposed to make a video. And I'm like, well, where are the keys? Well, you don't have to go, fuck it, I'll leave. Don't nobody care about your stupid ass video. Don't nobody care what the fuck you gotta say. And it's like, man, I don't want to hear all this. I don't, like, leave me alone. Like, let me just be free. Like, seriously, like, it means so much in, like, to just be free and to just be yourself and to let go, like, unlock these shackles that have literally been stuck to you, and you're just walking around like just tied down, and you feel heavy and ugly and just unworthy. And I've had eczema my whole life. That was one thing I wanted to talk about. Being raised by covert narcissists, having to deal with all of that as a child, and then having eczema, then being in England, being black. There's pretty much a lot of white people out there. And back in my day, like, back when I was born, it was very unusual to see interracial relationships, and me being black, having the eczema and having some nappy ass hair because my hair never got done because I was the first black person in my family. My mom didn't know what to do with my hair. So I just walked around looking like, what the fuck is that? Like, you looking crazy, and then you feel crazy on top of that. You feel like you ain't shit. And then my eczema, over time, it got worse, especially when I moved to Vegas, and out in this climate, I call it hell because it's super hot. It's super dry. I was just scratch all the time. I mean, it would be so bad to the point to, like, especially on my arms, it would get so bad that I'd be wearing long sleeve shirts out in 110-degree weather. And it's like, what the fuck? Because I was so ashamed to show people. And then also, like, if it was covered up, it would be easier for me not to scratch. But that really didn't help that much. Like, I figure out how to do it. But yeah, if I had to go to the grocery store, if I had to go do anything, like, it doesn't even matter if I just had to go walk to the mailbox. It's so hot out here. Okay. It's so hot out here that even just walking from your front door to the mailbox, you gonna break a sweat. So wearing long sleeve shirts is really ridiculous. And then being hot like that, it makes you even more itchy, and it makes it worse. And that comes with all of the insecurities on top of already having insecurities, on top of this, on top of that, and you just feel completely worthless. I don't really know how to explain it other than that, just feeling like you not worth anything. And so now I know, like, that's not true. That's absolutely not true. I can have the life I want. I'm going to create the life I want. I mean, I am right now, even though I'm still stuck within the situation, sort of. Like, I don't want to say I'm stuck, but, I'm still living in this situation because we both have to financially get on our own so we can go our separate ways. But still having to deal with it. Like I said, just even now, like, wanting to don't nobody care about your stupid ass videos. Don't nobody give a fuck what you got to say. And it's just like, yo, like, why are you, like, just being so nasty? Like, I'm coming real. And it's also comes from, damn, this video is getting long. All right. But basically, and it's getting dark. So basically, you guys know, like, about how the situation I'm going through and how being raised by a covert narcissist literally led me to marry somebody that I didn't even like. That is, and he's not a bad person either. Like, he is a good dude. He is a good father, but that wasn't the person that I would have chose to be with if I was in my right mind. And, all right. So it's getting dark. I'm hot, y'all. I'm going to be making some more videos, of course. But, this happened for a reason. I guess somebody, needed to hear this. Yeah, it sucks because now I got to go back home. But, it happened for a reason. Everything happens for a reason. And that's why, like, I kind of felt apologetic at times towards his daughter, and it's just like, I don't, I had these feelings like, why am I like this? Like, I don't want to be like this. And it's like, you know what, I'm done with that. And so I apologized for it, and I thought it was over with, and that shit came back with a vengeance. So it's like, now it's like, you know what, at the end of the day, everything happens for a reason, and I don't have to feel apologetic about anything because it happened to me for a reason. I did it to you. You experienced it for a reason. You gonna get something out of it, and we can all move on and get the best out of the situation. And if you choose not to, you choose not to. That's on you. But the karma has been lifted. I don't have to. That's done. Now it's on me. Do you want to stay here, or do you want to make things better for your life? And I'm gonna make things better for my life and for my kids. And it's just like, man, like, life is meant to be lived, and be happy, to show love, to be loved. Like, I can't wait to see what my future has in store for me. Like, I know great things are coming my way. Been through some shit, and that's because some real good shit is about to happen. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and end this. Leave me some comments. Let me know what else you want me to talk about. Kind of got thrown off on what I was supposed to talk about again. So let me know what you want me to talk about. And more than likely, I'll be back tomorrow. All right. I love you guys.